We're going to cover the details of the Qualified Sick and Family Paid Leave Wage Tax Credit, commonly known as COVID sick pay. In early 2020, when the COVID pandemic hit, Congress released 3 phases of legislation to assist the nation with the economic fallout. Phase 1, released March 6, 2020, was the Coronavirus Preparedness and Response Supplemental Appropriations Act. Phase 2, released March 18, 2020, was the Family First Coronavirus Response Act. Phase 3, released March 27, 2020, was the Popular CARES Act, where the PPP loans and ERC credits originated. The Qualified Sick and Family Paid Leave came out in the second phase of the COVID pandemic legislation under the Family First Coronavirus Response Act. The FFCRA required certain employers to provide their employees with paid sick leave or expanded family and medical leave for specified reasons related to COVID-19. The Act states that self-employed individuals are also entitled to the credit. However, few self-employed individuals were aware of this tax credit. Under the Family First Coronavirus Response Act, there are 2 different ways an employee or an individual can claim the paid leave. First is the Emergency Paid Sick Leave Act, which pays employees/individuals paid leave if they had COVID, or paid leave if they were caring for someone if they had COVID. Second is the Emergency Family and Medical Leave Extension Act, which pays employees/individuals paid leave if they couldn't work due to caring for a dependent whose school or child care was closed for reasons related to COVID. The FFCRA paid leave was available from April 1st, 2020 to December 31st, 2020. Then, on December 27th, 2020, the Consolidated Appropriations Act was signed into law. The Consolidated Appropriations Act extended the FFCRA paid leave credit timeframe until March 31st, 2021. The American Rescue Plan was then signed into law March 11th, 2021. This act brought additional pandemic stimulus packages. It included round 2 of the PPP loans, ERC expansions, and it also included round 2 of the Emergency Paid Sick and Family Leave. The second round of paid leave gave an additional 2 weeks of emergency paid sick leave and an additional 12 weeks of emergency family and medical leave. The additional paid leave was available from April 1st, 2021 through September 30th, 2021. So let's look at the 2 main acts side by side. You can see that the Family First Act has an available paid leave to individuals for up to 12 weeks. The individual is eligible for their regular rate of pay, but it is capped at daily limits. Under the FFCRA, the maximum paid leave credit is $15,110. The American Rescue Plan has available paid leave to individuals of up to 14 weeks. Again, the individual is eligible for their regular rate of pay, but it is also capped at daily limits. The maximum paid leave under the ARP is $17,110. Together, between the 2 acts, there is a maximum paid leave credit available of up to $32,220 per individual. Let's talk about the specifics of the 2 programs under both the FFCRA and ARP. First, we'll go over the Emergency Paid Leave, known as EPSLA. As you can see, the EPSLA is available under both acts. Under the EPSLA, an individual can receive paid sick leave if they had COVID at their regular rate of pay with a maximum of $511 per day. There's a total of up to 4 weeks or 20 days of paid leave with a maximum credit of $10,220. There are two ways to be eligible for the EPSLA, and it affects the maximum paid leave credit available. The first way to be eligible is if the employee was subject to a government quarantine or isolation order, was advised by a healthcare provider to quarantine, or was experiencing symptoms of COVID-19. If the individual couldn't work due to these reasons, the individual would be entitled to 100% of their regular rate of pay with a maximum of $511 per day. The second way to be eligible is if the individual was caring for someone that had COVID or was subject to a quarantine order. If the individual couldn't work due to these reasons, the individual would be entitled to 2/3 of their regular rate of pay with a maximum payout of $200 per day. Now let's cover the second program available under the FFCRA and ARP. The Emergency Family and Medical Leave Expansion Act, known as EFMLEA. As you can see, it's available under both acts. However, under the American Rescue Plan, you'll see there's an additional 2 weeks. Under the EFMLEA, an individual can receive paid leave to care for a son or daughter or eligible dependent at 2/3 of their regular rate of pay with a maximum payout of $200 per day. There is a total of 22 weeks or 110 days of paid leave with a maximum payout of $22,000. To be eligible for the EFMLEA, the individual must have been unable to work because they were caring for a son or daughter whose school or place of care is closed for reasons related to COVID. Altogether, there is up to 130 days, which is 26 weeks of paid leave available to claim the credit if the self-employed was unable to work and is eligible under qualifying circumstances. There is a maximum credit of $32,220 per individual. Now, the 2020 deadline is fast approaching, and those returns are due April 15th, 2024. However, if the individual did not claim days in 2020 and they still have the opportunity to claim the credit in 2021 if they missed work during the first quarter of 2021 for qualifying circumstances. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to our team. We want to ensure that everybody understands this program really well. Thanks.